79 of your math journal. We're going to call this one Simplifying Expressions. Okay, we've already learned that an expression, let's write this out. So put a little star here, and let's define expression again. An expression turns a real life situation into, and then I'm going to put in quotes because this is just what I call it, math language. Using numbers, variables, and operations. Once again, I want you in parentheses to write no equal sign. Okay, so it's just a statement. It's not setting it equal to anything. That would be an equation. So when we are simplifying expressions, we want to make them as simple as we possibly can. Okay, there are a couple of terminologies you need to know. So here's another one we're going to write. Okay, we're going to talk about like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variable. Okay, some examples would be like 2y and 5y. They both have the same variable. Another example could be 3 and 17. Why are they like terms? Well, they have no variable. Okay, so like terms have the same variable. Another one I want you to write is a constant. We talked about this in class the other day. But a constant is just a number that doesn't have a variable. So 3, 9, 12, 11, whatever. Those are all examples. They don't have any variables on them. Okay, there is one more. I want you to write coefficient. A coefficient is a number multiplied to a variable. Examples. In the term 3m, 3 is a coefficient. Not 3m. 3m is just a term, but 3 is the coefficient. It just tells you how many m's you have. Okay, now that you know those, we're going to talk about how we can simplify expressions. Okay, some expressions might be fairly long, but you can make them simpler for yourself to work with. Okay? And then I'm just going to put stars here. And I want you to write in simplest form. We combine like terms and distribute if possible. To make only one of each type of term. Okay, we're going to do just a couple examples on this. So, lots of definitions, but let's make sense of them now. Okay, we're going to write two examples. I want you to write 2x plus 3 plus 3y minus 1 plus 4x. Okay, this is like a story just played out. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, and then this happened. Well, simplifying is like saying, okay, at the end of the story, what do you have? Have you ever had like a little kid that comes up to you and rambles on at this story, and you're like, okay, what's the point where you're getting to? And they could have said it in one sentence. Well, that's kind of what you're doing here. Instead of saying this really long sentence, what can you put together? At the end of the story, what do you have? So this is where we look for like terms. Okay, I like to just circle the like terms and then draw lines showing that I'm putting them together. But I also want you to make sure you watch your signs and symbols, your operations. So here, like terms, I have anything that has an x is a like term. So I have 2x and 4x. This is adding 4x and 2x. So at the end of my story, putting those together, I have 6 x's because I had 2 and then we added 4. So at the end of the story, I have 6 x's. Okay, I'm looking for any other like terms I might have. I have a plus 3 here and I have a minus 1. So I'm going to, I usually do them in different shapes just so I keep track that I haven't combined the wrong kind. Okay, these both don't have a variable, so they're constant, so I can put them together. So if I'm adding 3 and then I take away 1, what am I left with? I still have 2 more than I did at the beginning. Well, this guy right here doesn't have anybody to combine with. That doesn't mean he isn't still part of the story. We just can't simplify him anymore. So my final simplified answer here would be 6x plus 2 plus 3y. That's as far as I can go. That's all I know. But do you see how this is simpler than this one up here? That's the point of simplifying expressions. Okay, another one. Let's try another one. Let's do 2y plus m plus 3y plus 8m. Okay, our coefficients tell us how many we have. This is 2y, so I have 2 y's, plus 3 more y's. Okay, those are some more like terms. So 2y plus 3y. So how many y's do I have all together in this story? Okay, because I was adding, I'm going to have a total of 5 y's. Okay, this is where some people get confused. How many m's is this? There's not a coefficient here, so this right here is just 1m. So I have 1m plus 8 more m's. So at the end of the story, I'm going to have 9m's. That would be it in simplest form. Okay, we practiced this the other day, but sometimes distributing is what you do to simplify an expression. So let's try simplifying 3 groups of 2m minus 6. Okay, to simplify it, I just want each term, so I have m's and I have constants, so I just want 2 terms in my simplified answer. Up here, I know I was going to have 3 because I had x's, constants, and y's. Those are all different terms. So I knew when I was done I should have 3 different terms. Okay, this is where we multiply. Remember, this means 3 groups of everything in here. So 3 times 2m minus 3 times 6. Well, here we have 6m's minus 18. Notice I have 2 terms again. 6m, 18, 2 terms. Sometimes you might have a mix of a couple of them. So you always want to distribute first if you can, because that's your multiplication, and then combine like terms, because that's when you're adding and subtracting. So you're still following your order of operations even with variables in it. So let's try 13 plus 2x minus 4. Okay, I want to take care of the multiplication first, so I'm going to distribute. So 2 times x minus 2 times 4. Okay, this would be 2x. This would be 8. Now I'm going to combine like terms. Combining like terms is just adding and subtracting. So let's put together anything we can. The only like terms I have are the 13 minus 8. So when I simplify that, I end up with 5. So I have 5 plus 2x. Because I can't do anything more with that, it's just going to stay the same down here. Okay, let's try one more that might be, we're going to make this one just a little bit more detailed. Okay, let's do 3m minus 4 plus 8 m minus 3, or let's see, 8 plus 2 in parentheses. Okay, take care of any distribution first because that's your multiplication. So 8 times m plus 8 times 2, distribute. Bring down everything else you haven't changed because it's still part of this expression. Okay, 8 times m is 8m. 8 plus 2 is 16. Or sorry, 8 times 2 is 16. Bring down everything else. Okay, now we're going to combine like terms because this is the adding and subtracting. So what else can I put together? Well, I have 3m's. And I have 8m's. So together, because I'm adding, that would be 11m's total. Now here it's going to take a little bit of thinking. See how they're minusing 4? If I minus 4 from something, but then add 16, this is where you're going to have to think a little bit. So if I took away 4, but then I got 16, that means at the end I had 12 still. So minus 4 plus 16 is the same as having 12 at the end of our story. So this one in its simplest form is 11m plus 12. Okay, that's all you have to do for simplifying expressions.